Guys, first of all, I have no idea if this mic works. I'm just gonna hope for the best. My best friend gave it to me, but we're both unsure if this is working or not. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but we move. Second thing, I'm so upset right now. I'm so upset at people in my life. Well, not the closest people in my life, but people that I have considered friends. And they're all really upsetting me. And I think what's really upsetting me is the fact that I just don't like how they're acting. So it's fine. It's fine. I've just never been this upset before. And thanking God for the good, real close friends in my life. They've gotten me to a point where I'm just like, wow, you people suck. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I don't have to deal with you on a daily basis. And I have my own community of good peoples. Because hey, what? Anyways, so I want to talk about doing stuff ugly. And I know it sounds so crazy and it sounds very negative, but I'm going to explain it. So when I was a kid, I never really used to think about my looks. I have several photos of myself where I'm posing however I wanted to. And I felt really good about myself. I was so comfortable in how I looked. And then I hit puberty pretty early. I was almost 9. So I was super early into it. And a lot of people kept talking about my weight, guys. As soon as I got to class 3, everyone is just obsessing about what my body looked like. And the thing about this, it wasn't, I think people always kind of minimize it. They'll be it's very normal. No. I'm telling you, it would be random people on the street just telling me stuff about my body. It would be young kids, young small child telling me about something. I'm just what is going on? So already my brain was just so confused because all of a sudden there's people talking about what I looked like. And the thing is, I grew up a very not timid child. I would say I was very well behaved. My mom really liked that, and I was very chill about a lot of different things. But when people kept talking about that, including my own parents, I became so, well, I would say introverted. I was not completely, but a big part of me started being scared of the world. I did not like going outside. I didn't like if people would put their attention onto me. It just made me super insecure. That is generally how my insecurity started. Of course, there's a lot of different things that happened, but I'm just not comfortable sharing that. But I will say that I was made very aware of what I looked like, and whether it was my teeth, my hair, all these different things. And that is what I want to talk about today. And so another thing about that, another thing that always used to make me scared, especially about attention. When I got attention as a kid, because Kenya is a really weird country and very patriarchal, I would get catcalled all the time because I hit puberty pretty early. And honestly, to be honest, I'd always been in uniform. So I'd been in uniform too. So these men, but that also made me feel weird. It made me feel weird that first of all, that I'm being told that I look wrong, right? And then the only type of affirmation that I'm getting is it feels weird. I'm being sexually harassed on the street, and I don't like that. Bro, I think it didn't click. When it clicked that it was catcalling, it was the scariest thing in my life. Before that, I was damn, people are really nice to me. Why are people being so nice to me? What? And then I was I got when I became older, I realized oh, that's I'm being catcalled, and this is super scary because why is this man coming this close to my face? Why is he not I don't want you close to me like this, and that was a realization. I think before that I used to think, oh, it's just oh, they're seeing a cute child and I'm a cute child. No, and then I realized no, there's an issue in our country. There's an issue in African society. But anyways, because literally my weight was a conversation everywhere. I always was I became so scared of just being myself. But the good thing about that, and what I really want to talk about, is that for me, the girls in my class, this is why I will always love my primary school class. The girls in my class made me so comfortable in who I am. They would never say anything. I swear, I don't understand what type of angels I was given in primary school, but I swear my babies, they would never say anything. Like, they always made me feel so pretty about myself. Like, they would genuinely tell me, like, Natasha, like, I have no idea what those people are doing. Like, they would be the nicest people. The boys, of course, like, I'm not gonna, like, I still talk to the guys from my primary school, but it was just because I wasn't hanging out with them. And then there would be some comments that some outliers would make, but they were also super nice. But especially the girls were the nicest people ever. And I remember when I was going through that phase of, like, I wasn't really looking at mirrors. I was so scared of, like, putting myself out there. Like, they were so worried for me, and they were, like, telling me every single day that they believe that I'm a very beautiful woman. And I was a very opinionated kid as well. And I did very well at school. And these girls genuinely mean the most to me in how much they really made me forget about all these different things, right? Even though it was everywhere, I felt so good about going to school. Like, that small mission school in the middle of Rongai, like, those were some of the best years of my life, because I remember all the time I used to hate going home, because genuinely my girls were my safe space. Even the guys in that class, like, were so, like, people really liked me and genuinely thought that I was, like, a very like, cute, pretty girl who has opinions, who is super smart. And that really, like, just creating a world where I fit in, because I'd go home and people are talking about my weight. I'd go hear someone saying about how I look, and they would literally always tell me, like, no one knows you like we do, like, And that for me was such an eye-opener, just having this community of women around me, of, like, women, like, girls. Like, we were so young, we were around, like, 10, 11, 12, and these girls were so encouraging, and they would feel so bad when I would cry. They'd be like, girl, why are you, like, you're so pretty, like, just made me feel really good about myself. And the one thing that they also made was, like, became clear to me when I was doing that, is that I can exist not liking myself, or, like, not liking my appearance, and still be of value. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't have to be, like, I can do that. Like, it's allowed. Like, I'm allowed to feel like maybe I don't fit in because of my looks, but I'm still of value. And I feel like just that's how that kind of mindset started. Anyway, so fast, this is like 2016. 2016, I get a scholarship to an international school. This is very important because I lived in Kenya. Like, this is Kenya. International school is pure white. Well, I won't say it was pure white people, but it was just like, it's a European school, yeah? So it's a lot of European immigrants who take their children there. So this is like, everyone looks different from me. It was very few Black people. Everyone looked different from me. So I'm like in a PWI. I get new classmates. Dude, for like 4 years, this was my hell. Like, this was my personal hell. Like, I was so excited to learn. And, like, thank God, that's like one of the things that really pushed me through these years, was like, I'm a person who's very passionate about learning. I am excited about, being in a new environment, learning a new language. And this school really opened up a lot of opportunities that I would have not had if I had stayed in a Kenyan school. So that is something that I was super grateful for. And so when I was in this school, I was focusing only on my books. And that is also a thing that I really want you to, like, to get, especially as a girl. It's like, I understood that in this place, I don't look like, I don't fit the standard at all, right? Like, I feel like in Kenya, for sure, in that space, I was just like, oh, well, but that is the thing. Understanding that the patriarchy assigns women the role of beauty. That's kind of how it started. Because I could feel how there were so many things, like, there were so many beauty rituals that were expected from me as a woman. And I could feel that there was a standard that I was expected to reach. And especially because I think around that time, we had like this obsession in media with like mixed women and like 3C curls. And I was just like, what can I do? Like, that's not a standard. Like, bro, but just understanding that the patriarchy gives women the role of beauty because my brother didn't go through the same things. I see boys my age didn't go through the same thing. The way men talk about beauty, the way women talk about beauty, it's like a lot of women were also critiquing me a lot because of what I looked like. Because I was a girl. Like, when you're a girl, like, you're expected to look a certain way. And that was like, and that certain way is supposed to be, pretty. But like, we'll talk about what beautiful means, what that looks like in our current world, and all those different things. The thing about how beauty was portrayed to me in this school, and what I started to understand about what people consider beautiful, is that it's rooted in a lot of anti-Blackness. And anti-Blackness is closely tied to classism. When we talk about fatphobia, it's not only that Black women, right, are bigger or like are thick. White women are thick, right? But it was all about class. Working class women were tilling the land. They were eating food, right? And I think especially when we talk about the upper class people, they like to really separate themselves from the rest of the group. So they'd be like, yeah, like, we're skinny. Like, the poors, no, like, the poors, they are like big, they're gluttonous, and they can't control themselves. And so a lot of it is rooted not necessarily in, like, Black women having this one body type that is stereotypical or even like biologically bad. No, it's just the fact that I believe that when they came to the African continent and found women working, and like, women needed to eat. Like, oh, we are eating. Like, there's nothing, we didn't have this huge class disparities. Of course, classes existed, but it was not like the way Victorian England especially would portray it. And when we think about intellectualism in Greece and in Rome, all these different things, a lot of it was being able to differentiate people that are, kind of like high in social status and who is not high in social status. And a huge way that could be done was equating body size to, intellectually inferior or people of lower classes. And so when colonialism was starting, slavery is starting, all these different things, like, especially when we think about the anti-Blackness within capitalism, Black people are then equated to poverty. Like, that's a lower class. And having the body type of someone who is lower class makes you lower class, right? So a lot of this is like I hope we are seeing the connections that I'm trying to explain and I'm trying to make. And especially in that school, everything that is modeled to be ugly was things that I was just like, oh, it's just like people that look like me. Like, I am understanding that ugliness is now equated to what I look like, what my family members are looking like. I'm so confused, right? We have wide noses, darker skin, not skinny, like, especially my mom's tribe is very stereotypical for having, a very voluptuous figure. And I was going into that and seeing, white people, being surrounded by white people, seeing boys choose white girls, or like that being seen as the standard, especially in the international school sphere. I was just like yeah, like nothing I can do. Nothing I can do, right? So I'm trying to really explain that, like, there's a lot of things that we're just like looking at it from a very white supremacist standpoint that alters our perception of beauty. I will say though, even like these standards seep into African culture, because if I think about how African aunties act about weight, even like my own aunties, they will be straight off of like they've just given birth, talking about bouncing back. You just gave birth 2 days ago. What are you talking about, right? It's also the fact that what are you bouncing back from? Like, you still look good, but like that type of fat phobia has really seeped itself into African communities. Like, it's something that has been entrenched in us. And I want to talk about the hierarchy of thinness. I have that in my notes here. I'm reading from like my laptop, so I'm like reading from here. The hierarchy of thinness and womanhood. The more successful that women become, the skinnier they get. Doja Cat broke my heart. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I think especially when we talk about Doja Cat, I do not like discussing celebrities, but Doja Cat had a really hard time with her hair and loving her hair, and like the anti-Blackness, it's there. And that is something that I have to consider when I think about that. Just like I think, especially when you start equating beauty to womanhood, when you start equating femininity to womanhood, it's very, very hard to feel feminine when you are not in a skinny body, when you're not in a very small body, because again, we have been given by patriarchy this role to be beautiful, and whiteness tells us that the only way to be beautiful is by being small. Patriarchy tells us that the only way to be beautiful is by being small, and it's very hard to feel feminine. And I think especially when you add on the layer of having darker skin, or even being a dark-skinned Black woman, all these different things can really, really alter how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, and your understanding of what beauty is. Because generally, like, what I'm really trying to get at is that beauty is not objective. Like, this is all just being told to us. Like, this is a system that has been curated, right? Not only to make women feel bad about themselves, but for there to be, like, first of all, control, and secondly, for us to have, like, the dieting industry is like a huge industry, makeup industry, all these different things to make us feel less worthy so we can be targeted by an economic system. Now, we're talking about Black women specifically, African women specifically. There is a sexualization of the Black female body. And especially when we talk about the fact that people see Black women as stereotypically bigger, or that, like, thick, right? Like, that's our thing. Like, if you're Black, you're thick. And that's kind of like expected of us. And again, I genuinely just believe it is just because it was how, like, that's the lifestyle. Like, it was very, like that, like, yeah, like, if we're gonna go work, like, we have to eat, like, and we're also not, I will say that Africans in general are not stereotypically tall. Like, South Sudanese people are, but everyone else, like, 5'6", and so you're gonna carry the weight and you're gonna be, like, thick. And even especially when we talk about Sarah Batman, South Africans especially, I think South Africans honestly could be genetic. Yeah. Like, they just have a very, like, curvaceous body. When she was being, taken around Europe and to be, like, to be put in this freak show thing, there's a lot of sexualization of such a body type being exotic, like, but also the fact that it was kind of, I think especially when we talk about sexualization of the female body, it kind of puts the only worth on the female Black body to be about satisfying a male gaze, satisfying men's desires. And it's very hard sometimes, I would say, like, personally in my own journey, to equate like how to see that and also feel good about yourself at the same time. Like, it's always just been something that I have had to, because I'm like, that is not a compliment to me. Like, it's really weird because a lot of the times, especially when it comes to, like, how catcalling works and stuff, we're kind of raised to want male validation, but I feel like not all male validation is created equal, especially when we're talking about how it's immoral. Like, sexual desire is, like, seen as immoral or seen as something that's only, like, men can show. It's so hard to find, like, why then would I be like, yeah, that's a good thing that, like, men only see me in this certain light, right? Because I want to be seen as beautiful, just like a skinny, small, blonde white woman. Like, why is the only word that you're gonna use to, like, only words that you're gonna use to describe me very sexual words? And just things like that. Like, it's been a lot of just understanding beauty politics and how they work. And I'm not a fan of that one. Just the sexualization of the female Black body makes me crazy. Anyways, and now I'm going to come to actually what I was going to talk about, because this was mostly just like an introduction, giving like context to how we understand the beauty standards, what beautiful means. And I'm going to tell you guys like my personal mantra and how I've like lived life so far. I will highlight that there is no objectivity within beauty. There's no objectivity within beauty. Then I will say this. I don't think that you should care about what you look like. Genuinely. I understand that, and I'm going to say it in a way, like, and I need people to really get it. When I was growing up, I didn't feel good about what I looked like, right? I didn't like it. Like, people were making it very clear that I do not fit and I am not okay and there's something wrong. But in my mind, I didn't think that was big enough of a crime. I did not think that was big enough to warrant a punishment of me not living my life, of me not getting what I want to get, of me not being opinionated, right? And a lot of the times, women are expected to pay the social currency of fitting the beauty standard. And it's just like, you're creating a beauty standard I will never fit into. Like, I can't, like, I'm sorry. And then expecting me to not want to live my life. I'm so confused. People have such shock when I have the audacity to exist like any other human being. And one of those things, like, the thing is, on the internet, if you know me from TikTok, I do not care to look appealing. I think on YouTube, I do like a very decent job. But on the internet, I'm like, it's also just like, you're seeing me from a camera. You have no idea what I look like in real life. I see myself, I'm like, I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, she's a snack, she's a meal. But people don't perceive me like that. You only see me on a screen and I have a Twitter. I don't even understand why I got popular on Twitter, but like, I'm popular on Twitter, on Kenyan Twitter, and I say left-leaning progressive things in a country that is full of patriarchy. That's like the biggest controversy. And then the men are usually so quick to tell me what I look like. They're like, why do you look like that? Like, yeah. They're always kind of like in shock that I have the audacity to speak up against things and still look like what I look like. Like, to them, beauty matters so much, especially when it comes from a woman who's opinionated. Like, I'm not fitting this role that they want me to fit. Like, I'm not sad, right? And I'm not gonna act as if it didn't affect me. Like, yeah, like, I would go home crying. Like, I still cry sometimes. Like, happens. And I think I've gotten like better at this. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just got better because I like changed my style and a lot of different things. But I will say that I never let it stop me. Like, feeling like feeling like I don't fit in never stopped me. Like, I was just like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong by existing in a body that might not appeal to you, in a face that you might not like. Like, that has nothing to do with me. Low key, you don't have to be attracted to me. Like, that's the thing though. Like, you don't have to, because I'm gonna still living life. It's like, I'm gonna be still living life. That's like my whole thing. I was like, and then the thing is, I was a kid. I was also a kid. I was like, bro, like, you guys are gonna survive. Like, yeah, I might walk in and you guys might laugh at me, but at the end of the day, it's gonna change nothing. It's gonna change absolutely nothing. Like, literally on Twitter, they'll be like, oh my God, like, oh, like, you look like that. Like, you look like this. I still said it though. Like, you see how when you say nothing, it changes. Like, when someone says something about what you look like, it changes nothing. Like, it's so inconsequential. Like, changes absolutely nothing. And that for me really just like was the thing. I was just like, I might not like how I look right now. I might even feel really bad about walking out of the house today, but I'm gonna still do it. Whether you like it or not. Like, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna walk out of the house and I'm gonna chill. And I'm gonna live my whole life. And I need to, because I deserve to live a whole life because I'm human. And the thing is, I don't think that like ugly exists. I just feel like we live in a system that even like created ugly, whatever. And there's just, again, like a lot of beauty is just about familiarity. We have literally all just like been programmed to think that only one type or like one standard, like by the media, by also just colonialism, by white supremacy, to see that as the only standard of beauty. But like, dude, you like just walk outside, like low key, like just walk outside, like start thinking about things in a very different way. Because I remember my mom to me was the like is till this day the most beautiful woman, right? She's a dark-skinned black woman, dark skin, like, you know, rich. She has a gap in her front teeth, and I loved that. Like, I always loved it. I always wanted it. There's just like, we just need to start being like low-key, like realistic, like just like chill, like look at the people around you. You love them and they're beautiful to you. They're beautiful. Hello, like they are. You like, there's no standard that you have to fit, like genuinely, like because people look beautiful. Like people are made, like humanity is what makes you beautiful. It's not about fitting some certain standard or like wearing certain clothes. It's all about the fact that these people are human. And like what, like that's it. Like beauty is not only about fitting some weird Eurocentric standard. It's a lot of different things. It can look like the fact that, like, you know, I've put like markings on my face, looking colorful. Because in pre-colonial Africa, like beauty was very, very diverse. It was all about marks. Like we'd put marks on our faces, like put long earlobes, right? Masks. Like I had like a very very artistic way of what beauty meant, but everyone looked similar. We would decorate our bodies. We would make shapes, indents, but we wouldn't change our bodies. Like, you understand? Are you guys understand what I'm trying to say? These were attainable things that we all could do. So do stuff even when society might not deem you, I don't know, acceptable, but it's just not true. Like they're lying to themselves. Hello, everyone is beautiful. And like, I mean that. And it might start, and I think also it just helps to like, it'll help you not to be a terrible person if you rewire your brain on how you view beauty, genuinely, because you won't appreciate the beauty that already exists around you. People are very beautiful out here. People are very beautiful, but you've been lied to. You've been lied to, and they've told you that people aren't, but they are. Being able to exist in your normalcy is beautiful. Like, that's what I'm trying to explain. It doesn't change if people, like, so even if you don't feel like you look any type of way or you don't fit the standard, like, you still are beautiful. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. Newsflash, you're beautiful. Newsflash. And I genuinely don't even make it a point. Like, if you've seen me on my TikTok, it's very few times. Well, like, I like to balance between looking dressed up in a vid or just like waking up in the morning, having a bonnet on my head and like speaking, because I still think that it's important to exist in all these different ways. Like, it doesn't change who I am. It absolutely doesn't change who I am. Yeah, I've kind of gone through my notes. It's been like, half an hour. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm literally telling you guys that everyone is beautiful, but I'm literally like actually meaning it. You might not feel like it because of all the systems that have been put in place, but I promise you, people who understand this, if you, like, you shine from the inside, like you exist as a human being, like, hello, isn't that the most beautiful thing? It doesn't matter what people think, like, genuinely. Literally, someone will tell you, oh, I don't think I like how you look. Change is nothing. The world keeps spinning. The world has kept spinning. Like, that literally was me. Like, that's all I would think about. And I'm not gonna act as if I don't struggle with like body dysmorphia, or I don't struggle with just like feeling like my value is tied to my looks. I do, because like that's the system I was raised in. But understanding that I am more than just like a person perceiving me and not finding me attractive or beautiful changed nothing. I was just like, well, okay. Like, I just like moved on. I was just like, yeah, this is like, even if I don't feel like I look good today, it low-key changes nothing. Like, it changes nothing. And I just, like, you should really just work around trying to find beauty within yourself. And I mean that, like, understanding systems around you, like, not being anti-Black, like, trying to have different standards for yourself. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I look like myself today. And I think that was such a good, like, a good way. Like, I look like myself. Beauty is so diverse. Like, I hate that there's so much objectivity that has been put onto beauty. And if a lot of people, especially when it comes to social capital, I think especially when it comes to dating, it's very heartbreaking to just see how people go about it. I'm not gonna act as if I'm not affected by these standards. I absolutely am, but I would say that I have a very diverse palette. And in comparison to a lot of people who just like, I have like a type, and it's like, honestly, in dating it's allowed, but I always say that you should, like, widen the spectrum so you can experience different people. Like, there's so many experience of people out there. You cannot just create one type of beauty. Like, how are you going to help? Like, you're not gonna be happy. Like, you can't live life and not appreciate the beauty around you. Like, if you keep boxing everyone into whether they fit the standard or fit the mold, like, hello, who, like, such a desperate, like, existence. Like, live. Thanks for joining me. These are just like my thoughts. I'm working on a video right now, so I didn't want to do like a scripted one, and I also just didn't cast the whole video, which is really nice. Thank you guys for watching. This is gonna be something I do regularly. I just sit and like record, and hopefully people watch it. You don't have to, but people don't have to, but I think it's a very important message. And I'm gonna also probably release this as an audio, because it's not a lot. It's a very personal video. It's not, my video essays are a bit more research, but this was just like me, like, giving sister advice or something, and how I talk to my younger sister about these different things, and letting her know, like, girl, like, you look good. Don't let nobody tell you anything. As long as you look at yourself because I used to literally look at myself in the mirror when I was young. I'd be like, yeah, like, I look nice, like, I'm comfortable. And then I grow up, and then you're telling me this. I'm like, change is nothing. Yeah, but I totally understand it. And I've grown up. I understand the pressure. I get it. And I really want to alleviate people from such pain, because it was such a painful existence to, like, think that, like, my only value is what I look like, and even thinking that my looks are not good enough. Like, hello? Yeah. And I hope, like, I've been able to give a new perspective, and I hope it's a good video. Bye-bye.